is 13 ABC Action News at 4 with Tina Williams and Tony Giftis.
It's a synthetic opioid the DEA says is 50 times more potent than heroin.
Fentanyl is cheap, it's widely available, and it's highly addictive. It also kills thousands of people every year. Fentanyl is our big story today.
Today marks the first ever National Fentanyl Awareness Day. The goal is to educate people about the dangers of the drug and the risks that come with using it, even just once.
According to the CDC, nearly 107,000 people die as a result of a drug overdose from November of 2020 through November of 2021. That's 66% of those deaths that were linked to synthetic opioids like fentanyl.
So here in Northwest Ohio, you might be wondering what's happening. The Zeph Center offers help to those who are struggling with all types of addiction. We have Ashley Kopanis with us from Zeph. So what are you seeing in Northwest Ohio? Is fentanyl still a top drug of choice?
Fentanyl is the drug of choice, unfortunately. What we're really seeing in our trends is no longer heroin mixed in with fentanyl or carfentanil. Fentanyl is what we're seeing, and we're seeing it from traditional opiate use disorder folks, but also it's being pressed in pill form. So folks that might be taking Xanax or other types of party drugs are now finding that it's mixed into those medications. And this is an effort to really diversify the clientele that the dealers are reaching. So it's all over the place now, and it is the thing that we are seeing, and it is scary because it is the most deadly substance that people could be really messing with or having encounters.
Yeah, you know, of course, all drug use comes with a risk, but you mentioned the fact that fentanyl is different, that not only is a small dose deadly, but you mentioned expanding the clientele. What do you mean by that? Is this hitting the streets in different forms?
Yes. So when I say expanding the clientele, dealers have found that folks don't need to come as frequently if you are using party drugs or other drugs that are recreational. Opiate use disorders or people who use opiates need them more frequently because they become violently ill. So if people start to become fearful of opioids and they stop using them, there's less people coming through and buying. So if I can start putting fentanyl and other things and I get you addicted to fentanyl, you're going to come see me more. And in turn, I'm going to make more as a businessman. So we are seeing it across other substances. It's in cocaine. In some instances, we're seeing it in marijuana, and we're seeing it being pressed into pill form for a lot of party or other pill type forms that people might be using.
Now, the war on drugs has been going on for quite some time. Now the attention really turning to these synthetic opioids. What do you think the answer is to starting to bring down the number of not only users, but the deaths that we're seeing from these overdoses, which in many cases tend to be accidental?
In most cases, it's accidental. And I would say the biggest thing is going to be multi-pronged. Like, it's going to be a community push approach. It's reducing stigma. It's knowing where you can get Narcan so you can save people in the community. Narcan is going to save someone's life so that they can get into treatment. And that matters to our community. We need the members in our community. Access to treatment that's not only going to be inpatient or detox, it's going to be the work that happens outside of that. Outpatient, partial hospitalization, recovery housing. People need places to go that's going to sustain the sobriety. Going right back into the frying pan isn't going to fix our problem.
Now, if somebody is watching and they know someone who's addicted or they need help, how do they go about getting it?
They can call us at 419-754-3869. That's our 24/7 line for substance use disorder treatment. They can call us. We'll do a screen. We'll let them know how we can help them. And we do take admissions 24/7.
All right. Well, Ashley, thank you so much for being with us. Once again, if you need help right now, there is a 24/7 hotline with the Zeph Center. That number 419-754, the letter D, and then TOX.
That's right.
One of the biggest challenges with fentanyl is you may not know you're actually taking it. DEA lab testing found that 4 out of every 10 pills with fentanyl contained a potentially lethal dose. It only takes a tiny amount to kill, 2 milligrams to be exact. And the big problem right now are counterfeit pills. And if you scroll down on this website, you can actually see an idea here. Let's take a closer look. The DEA says fake pills are hitting the streets disguised as something else. You can see the fake ones on the right. Plenty of people sell them online, and while you think you're getting Oxy, Percocet, or Adderall, it could be laced with fentanyl, and that could kill you.
And the most popular spot to buy those pills is on social media. Your children might be talking about drugs without you even knowing. Something as simple as an emoji is actually a code for teens looking for drugs. ABC's Karen Travers explains what parents need to know.
Emojis. We use them every day in our text messages and social media posts. But kids often have their own meanings for these symbols that go right over adults' heads. The Drug Enforcement Administration is warning parents that teens are using emojis as code to buy drugs from sellers online.
So what you might see is an electrical plug followed by a school bus. What in the world would that be? That would be someone looking for a source for a Xanax pill.
Bill Bodner, special agent in charge at the Los Angeles DEA office, says the trend became more prevalent during the pandemic. Drug transactions shifted from bars and nightclubs to online.
Our fear was, especially to parents, might see a lot of these emojis and really think nothing of them. They look so innocent, and it could be something indicative of an attempt to buy drugs.
Bodner's biggest concern: counterfeit pills.
All the pills you're going to buy now on social media or on the street are counterfeit prescription drugs. They're not the real thing.
Bodner says the active ingredient in many of the counterfeit pills is fentanyl.
It's a drug that's 50 times more powerful than heroin. We're seeing it everywhere. We've made counterfeit pill seizures, fentanyl pill seizures in every state in the United States. It's impacting every community.
Bodner stresses that parents need to have conversations with their kids about the implicit danger of these pills.
The dosing is very inconsistent, and it could just be one pill that causes an overdose death.
Parents who think their teen might be using drugs should look out for changes in behavior. You can find helpful resources at dea.gov/onepill.
A great place to start to educate yourself, if you're a parent, about what's out there and about how to have the conversation with your child.
Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
One big part of the fight against drugs is to keep people who use them as safe as possible. Here in Lucas County, that includes providing Narcan to anyone who may need it or know an addict. Toledo Fire and Rescue says they have seen an increase in incidents that need Narcan use. In 2020, there were 1,480. Last year, there were 1,586. Officials add that not just one dose is given at most of these. They usually require 2, if not more.
Other ways to keep users safe is offering a syringe program. Northwest Ohio Syringe Services offers sterile equipment to users in what's dubbed as a non-judgmental and anonymous way. There's a mobile unit and daily clinics where you can get what you need. More information is available on the Lucas County Health Department's website.
And if you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, there are groups who can help. We heard from the Zeph Center earlier, and Harbor offers help as well. The Lucas County Drug Abuse Response Team can also get you into contact with local treatment facilities, and the United Way is able to help. Just pick up the phone and dial 211.
And that is our big story today.